Hey, it's your girl, Miss Trina, with Chat with Trina. I want to thank you for making the choice to click in. Today, my super special guests are couplepreneurs Lloyd and Courtney Christten of One Marriage, Two Hustlers. They are the owners of a podcast studio. They are motivational speakers, authors, so much more. So let's get into it and how they work as a couple. We're going to get started. First, I want you both to introduce yourselves.
Ladies first. So my name is Courtney Christten. I'm not going to tell y'all my age. I'm going to let y'all guess. But my husband and I, we have a podcast. We've been married for
5 years.
5 years. He always has to remind. He reminds me of the date. But we've been married almost 5 years, been together 8. We have a podcast by the name of One Marriage, Two Hustlers. We also own a creator studio, OM2H Creator Studios, and we're located in Houston, Texas. I also have my own podcast, Allow Yourself Grace. Y'all go follow on YouTube and all streaming platforms. We're just super excited to be here. I'm originally from Fulshear, Texas, and from a small town, just a little country girl, Yeah.
Seem like it. I don't see it. I would have never thought I would see you as a city girl.
Oh, really? No. I'm from Fulshear, Texas. So I have family in Sealy, Brookshire, all those areas. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, my name is Lloyd Christtten. I am Mr. Why Now Is Your Time. We also, like you said, we have a podcast together. I'm locked in, man. I love helping people to build their brand. I love helping people just to run the play when it comes to being successful. I think a lot of people are procrastinators. And I always tell people is, as long as you procrastinate, you can't participate in life because life is passing all of us by. So get locked into what you're doing and make things happen.
Yeah, that is so true. You used to hear that old saying of it's like Nike, just do it. Mm-hmm. I actually mentioned you to my daughter the other day because she's thinking about rebranding. She's come from the tech field. She's gotten caught up in all the big tech layoffs. So she's step up her business some. But anyway, so thank y'all for that. Where are you from though, Lloyd?
I'm from Baytown, Texas, baby. My boys know they from Baytown, East Side Houston. So
Lee College. Yes. That's in that area.
I went to San Jack, but I didn't go to Lee College.
No. I'm just saying that's what makes me think about.
Yes.
Doesn't San Jack in Baytown or
no, in Pasadena.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, I knew that because I ran there. I ran there when they had the white track. That tells you how long. I think it's blue now. Have either of you been married before? Let me ask that first.
Yes.
Okay.
We both have.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when you got divorced or you broke up, were you guys looking for something particular when you?
No. Well, I wasn't. I was
looking for a particular type of woman. I had wrote it down. I had said what she had to have. I had said exactly like the exact what I was looking for. Because, as a man, when you out there dating, it's only one or two things going to happen. You're going to either spend a lot of money on trying to date, because women can go on 50 dates and spend zero money. They can get picked up. They can do all that stuff. But as a man, you have to be very calculated because you can easily spend $2,000 or $3,000 trying to date multiple people. So my thing was I wanted to make a list because I didn't want to waste money or I didn't want to waste time. So
I like that. I
don't mean to cut y'all off, but a friend of mine that was doing, he was trying to do online dating. And he said, Trina, everybody wants to go to the most expensive restaurants in the world on the first date. I said, well, on the first, and you know who taught me this? Mr. Apache. Don't take them to the expensive restaurant. First date.
That's true.
So every first date, these ladies were like, I want to go here. And that was the last date. So he was definitely spending a lot of money.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When I talk to like my single friends and women and they're looking for advice, like it's the simple things. Like it doesn't necessarily always have to be an expensive restaurant. It can be, let's go get some coffee.
Our first date, we went to Lucky Strike. Was that Lucky Strike?
No, we went to
but she had the whole crew out watching me.
We went to a bar. We went to Coaches. So fun fact about us, we met online.
Yes.
So we didn't mention that in the beginning. So we met on POF, Plenty of Fish. I don't know if that's still a thing because we're,
It is still a thing, but I'm just very surprised. But yes.
Yeah, everyone didn't find out until our wedding reception. We said we met on POF. So we met online. So yeah.
Were you guys, either one of y'all, scared or leery about the online?
I was, yes, because I was getting ready to get off of there because I thought it was like, okay, I was like, this is too much. I was new to it. People, I'm sure you've done online dating. So like they're inboxing you all this stuff. You're getting like dick pics. And this is like men of all ages, not just young men, older men too. They're sending you all these random pictures. So I was like, oh no, I'm getting off of here. And right before I got off, he messaged, when I was getting ready to get off, he messaged me.
You seen that fine man. You seen that fine man. Yeah, you seen that fine man. That man was fine.
No, that's why she had to come back and say, wait a minute, whoa.
You need to stop.
You sure? You didn't message me? You sure?
No, you messaged me. So
I want to make sure.
Y'all clear with me.
Okay.
But you know, and when I say I'm surprised, not that y'all met online, but Plenty of Fish is supposed to be the hookup one.
Terrible.
Don't get on Plenty of Fish. Y'all heard that before?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I heard it. I mean, I don't know. I just think
I don't know. How long had you been
when
on
I was on there? I was on PLF for like 6 months. But
okay.
My thing was I was very calculated though, because you know you got men that dress up like women. You got a lot of stuff going on. So you got to be. See, what you said was true by sending a message. But as a man though, you have to be real selective because you have men out here portraying to be women, and they really men. They're not letting men know.
They ain't letting y'all know.
Yeah, so you got to be real cautious. So,
and they're setting you guys up as well. Like she could have a whole boyfriend, and
that was just on the news recently.
That's happening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's happening a lot. So yeah,
I think that's what's scary as a single person for me. But I mean, I've had people give the advice of meeting at a coffee shop somewhere in public for sure.
Well, I think what people should do though, and I was a king of this is you got to call me on. We got to have a FaceTime conversation before I meet up with you. I need to actually hit you on, I need to see you on FaceTime or on Google Duo, Zoom, something, and have a conversation with you versus the first time I see you is when, we got technology. It's different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's very true.
And I heard in the background somewhere that you had people set up to watch and see.
Oh yeah. So our first in-person date, I brought all my friends.
A lot of y'all.
So yeah, there was a lot of us, and so they were on the other side of the bar.
I didn't know until you
said, he didn't know until like he was getting ready to pay, and then I like texted them to come over, and they all came over.
And what was your response?
My response, I was just like, okay, they watching. I mean, I'm not a bad person, so I'm not a person that was worried about it.
He was cool about it. Like I was just like, oh, my friend's here. My cousin was there, and some other friends. Yeah.
And it was kind of impressive to a certain extent to me. I would have thought it was impressive to know that someone took the time to make sure that they were safe, kind of, to me.
Did you think it was
impressive?
For me to take the time to make sure I was safe?
I mean,
I may not be using the right terminology, but you know what
I mean. I mean, to me, it's like ladylike, you know, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, it depends kind of man you is. If you're a very sneaky person and trying to do some crazy stuff, then to me, it'll bother you. But if I'm just a normal dude just trying to meet a woman, it don't matter. You would have brought your mom or your dad. It'd been cool with me.
And I just thought that, you know, he was very open. He was chill. Everybody was very nice though. You know, they were just like, hey, how you doing? You know, like that. It wasn't anything like extra or any crazy.
What are your intentions for her?
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like that. It was just casual.
I have some questions from some people that gave me today. Okay. One of them says, what about your relationship with your mate that makes you feel secure?
For me, I trust him. Like I trust him with my life. Like I know he's gonna go to bat for me. I really feel like you'll kill somebody for me, low key.
You already know. You already know how I go down.
We ride for each other. So I think that's what really solidifies us, because I've seen him have my back and I've had his back through whatever. So
I think for me, it's more of I mean, before I quit my job, I was working nights and days, and there was guys coming to work thinking about their spouse, and I'm like, I mean, I really trust her. She's at home by herself. I mean, I trust her. And then knowing that, and we always tell this story though, or at least I do, knowing that at one time, she had told me basically, hey, you have a great vision. You could quit your job. I got us because I believe in your vision. But as a man, that's a difficult thing to try to be like, if you're a real man, you just like, what? You know, I know some men would probably be doing some flips happy, but for her to trust me for her to trust me to lead us that's very impressive. So
how do y'all approach difficult conversations? Like if he does something that, because communication is a huge deal. And I used to ask the question of, have you of my real seasoned couples that have been married 30, 40 years, have you perfected communication? Of course,
I said the 3 C's. I call it the 3 C's. Number 1, you got to communicate. All right. Once you communicate, that help you make the right choices. The second C is your choices. You know what I'm saying? Your communication, your choices. Then you can come together and you guys can collaborate. So those are the 3 C's: your choices, collaboration, and understand that your communication skills.
Yeah. Communication skills are important. I think for us, the way we communicate is just, even sometimes it may be a heated argument, just taking that break, like never saying something that, you can't take back. Like even after an apology, words are words. So they're going to stick with you. That thing that person said is still going to stick with you because you're like, do you really feel that way? So before you speak, just always think about it. And maybe you need to take a break and come back and have the conversation 5 minutes, an hour later. But just always make sure you reconcile it. We always say we're giving each other no more than 30 minutes. Like,
yeah, and we can't go to bed mad. Don't go to bed mad.
That was the next question.
I got 30 minutes to be mad. That's it.
Yeah, don't go to bed mad because people die in their sleep every day.
Yeah.
So, right. I don't want to, in all ages. Some people might, don't think like that. But I mean, reality is,
right.
You don't know when your time is coming.
Yeah. Right. And we don't do like most people like, oh, sleep on the couch, sleep in another.
I ain't sleeping on no couch.
We don't do that. We don't recommend that because of that. Like life is so short that is it really worth it? Like, is that argument really that deep?
So that's the question I asked, because when people get married, I know when I got married, that was the first thing that, but don't go to bed mad. So my question was y'all, what you answered was, is that realistic not to go to bed mad? Like, I'm mad, how am I gonna get past it before we go to bed?
Well, the question is, how strong is your love though? I think the problem is people don't love their spouse as much as they say they do. Because if you really love your spouse, you really don't even want them, you don't want them to hurt and pain. I mean, I think a lot of times as men, we try to be emotionless. And one thing I learned is since I've been married to her is to be more vulnerable as a man. And she allows me, she's my safe place. And for that that's very important to me. So
yeah.
Okay, which brings me to the another question. Actually, Courtney and I were talking about it earlier today, that people always talk about what they learned about themselves when they get married, or, oh, I learned this. But what have y'all learned about the other person? No, I said that back. What have you learned about the other person?
So what I've learned about him, like, so if I didn't mention this in the beginning, so my background is in in psychology and counseling. So what I like to do, because I do this with people that I counsel as well, is like get to know your background, like kind of how you grew up, what your family dynamic was like what your parents were like, because that kind of gives you an idea on why a person thinks the way they do, why they kind of behave the way they do, certain actions. And so there was a time where I had to tell him, like, hey, you don't apologize. Like, I always apologize first. Like, you never apologize. And I don't even think he realized it. And he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm always the one apologizing. You never apologize. And so that was something that we addressed early on.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like he said, he's starting to be more vulnerable. He started to be more vulnerable and things like that in our relationship, and started to apologize because I don't think he realized that he wasn't doing it.
It also shows that he cared, that because sometimes you can tell someone something like that and you don't notice the change at all, but to notice the change gives you something.
Right.
Well, and I think that comes from, like, what I learned from her is basically it's pretty much just not to hit those triggers. This is the thing. People get so comfortable and wanting to just hit triggers. So people like, well, this is what makes them mad. I'm mad, I'm gonna make you mad. And I hate when people say that, oh, so you and your wife don't argue. I'm like, we have disagreements, but we don't have no dog out arguments. I mean, life is too short to be just arguing. We ain't doing that.
Yeah, so we don't do the low blows and like talking about your mama and like talking about something that an area, you know, they're weak in and things like that. Like we don't do that. But I tell people, I think it's about your approach. Like it's not about what you're saying, it's how you're saying it and your tone and your body language and things like that. And so that's why
I have to I'm conscious of that.
Yeah, taking that break for women is important, especially for alpha females, because I'm an alpha female. Like I'm very assertive. And so I have to know, like at home, I don't have to be that way because that's his role, not my role.
How does that, I mean, did it take time to try to step back and allow someone, because I don't know how long you were by yourself, but when you're an independent woman, I know that could be a challenge going into a relationship. How did you? That
was a challenge for me because I did live on my own. You know, I had my own everything. And so just allowing someone to come in and play that role was difficult. Even when he asked me to move in with him, I was like, oh no, let me think about it. Like he literally had to like get a moving truck, get some movers and show up at my house. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Because I want to be in control. That's me. I like to control things, but relinquishing that control, I think was the hardest thing for me. And that's something I had to learn through building trust with him. Yeah, just building my trust in him.
Was it difficult for you to try to, Lloyd, for you to try to get her to that point? Was it frustrating for you or?
Well, no, not really. I mean, the thing is, I think once your love grows, you know, and I say this all the time, if one person evolving and the other one not, the relationship is about to fail. And this is this big fact. So you have to evolve together. What I used to like last year, I might not like this year. You know, and you have to understand. And the only way if you understand is if I communicate that to you. I don't care if it's sex. I don't care if it's the kind of restaurants I like to eat at. My taste buds might have changed. You know, my sexual desires might have changed. Places that I want to go might have changed, you know. And I think it's good to have, I call it a business relationship. When I say business relationship, it's good to sit down once a week and say, what did I do to you this week that made you mad? Or what did I do to you this week that allows me to make your life happier? These are questions that need to be asked on a constant basis. I think people get into their routine, and I call it the cross paths. So it's like, well, I think I already know how they are, and that person might have changed. You never asked them, like, you know, and to have a conversation with them is very important.
Which is kind of what happened with COVID. You know, people. I've talked to Courtney about my daughter being a younger person, and my daughter thinks marriage is too hard. It's just hard. It shouldn't be work. I think people just don't like each other, which I believe sometimes that they didn't like each other like they thought they did. But COVID brought that out a lot of people. And even I went to see Gary Owen last night, and that was his discussion. His discussion was COVID is what made him realize this ain't it, because he was gone all the time. But to be there with this person, he was like 4 days in a row. He's like, Lord, I really got to go back in the house to this person, you know. It was totally funny, but it was totally real because there were so many divorces that came out of that. And I'm saying,
but that comes with that not communicating, though. That comes with not coming to the table. Yes, not coming to the table every week and saying, hey, this week did I rub you the wrong way? And if I did, how did I rub you the wrong way? You know what I'm saying? And let me try to correct it for next week. You know,
and take accountability for it instead of being defeated.
Accountability. I think a lot of people don't want to be accountable. It's like, well, this is who I am. You gotta accept me for who I am. I mean, I don't care what you're saying. Yeah. You know, so that's when it comes. People not being heard.
Yeah. And genuinely being friends. Like, we laugh about that because we're like,
talk about the other night. We stayed up. What time we stayed up?
We stayed up till like 4 a.m. just talking,
laughing, joking.
And I was like,
dating, you do that, you know?
Yeah, we were just in the bed just laughing, talking, like, for real, like we don't have anything to do the next day. But genuinely being like, this is my friend. And so I don't understand people, like, we went out with a couple times and we're like, do y'all actually even like each other? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, so I think you have to genuinely like your spouse in order to really love them the way they need to be loved.
I had someone tell me, and I brought this up before, that your wife or your husband can't be your best friend because you can't tell them everything. And
I don't think that's true.
I think about that. I think if you can't, that means there's something going on that shouldn't be going on. Right?
Yeah, you're being secretive though. That's the thing though. I think people not being transparent. You know, transparent is the key to a successful relationship. So when I say being transparent, I mean, and people don't want to talk about it, but it's like, okay, am I making you feel like you want to feel sexually? Am I making you feel like you want to feel when we go to restaurants? You know, at first I never really held hands. That's something she wanted to do. So now I gotta get adjusted and I gotta learn how to hold hands. But the thing is, so many people, and I talk to a lot of men, they just stuck in their ways. They don't want to break the habit, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think men struggle with being transparent though. Like, a lot of men, it's more of a struggle for them than women.
It is us. Yeah. How much on a first date, how much is too much? How much is too much to talk about? Do you think?
Oh yeah. First of all, let me tell you something. We already know you coming with your representative. So that person already showing up with you. So my thing is, if you've been sexually abused, you should never bring it up on a first date. Okay. You should wait. You should give it time. You should really get to know, like, is this somebody I can trust with some of these personal things? The problem is, people go on a first date and they just spill all their beans out to you. And then that already make me make a decision on you. I don't even want to know you if you're telling me everything already. You know, so give me time to get to know you.
Yeah, I say start with the little things. Like, if you're single, like, keep it real. Like, what do you like to do? You know, what's your favorite food? Do you like to travel? Like, keep it real, like, in general. And the more dates you go on, I feel like the conversation should evolve to certain levels. Like, the more you start to reveal more of you. Because like you said, the first date is definitely should be you, your representative. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not going to
just telling them that, hey, I am looking for a long-term relationship. Is that a no?
No,
I think that
not on the first date. No,
because
that's a no.
Yeah, because you should kind of know, because I'm sure you guys have been chatting on the phone and you kind of like can get a feel whether or not it's somebody's serious.
Well, you can't tell a man that, because
dating with intention though.
Yeah, like, but you can't tell a man on your first date that, because first thing he's gonna run away.
Yeah,
I mean, because he like, well, hold on, I get like,
yeah,
it's like throwing pressure.
It will get there. I feel like he'll know, like when, like, oh, she wants something real. I had a guy one time. I went on a date. We went on 2 dates, and he literally told me, like, hey, you're wife material. I'm not ready for that. So, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and end it. And I respected him for that, because he said, like, I don't even want to, like, do this because I'm not ready for that.
That's my point. So let's just say you go on this first date, you kind of feeling him, right? Or you feeling her. So I go on the second date, and I get a third date, and all of a sudden, you say this, you didn't want a relationship. But had I told you on the first date, we wouldn't have went on all these dates, and I wouldn't start getting feelings. Does that make sense?
Well, I think
you shouldn't have feelings by the third date.
I think it's the three. I call it the three. Yeah, it should be the 3-1 rule. So I call it the 3-1 rule. The 3-1 rule is basically I'm gonna pay for the first 3 days, and you're gonna pay for the fourth one. All right. But this is the thing, though, because I want to be able to not only be able to trust you, but I want to make sure you can hold your own too. I want you to be creative. That's another thing.
And I think like like I said, I've always had my own stuff. So it was just courtesy for me, like, oh, I got this one. Like he didn't put me on 4 dates. I mean, that's the least I can do. Like, but I think women get so, oh, well, he's the man. He's supposed to pay. He is, but I think men appreciate being appreciated.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because
I'm always on that side, even though you have girlfriends that'll say, girl, how you pay that? But I've never, women are weird. Like some women, I guess, are weird like that. But,
right.
Okay. I'm still on the feeling like if you date somebody once or twice that you ain't told them that you want a serious relationship. That's
I think okay, so this is why I say our book that we're gonna release this year, the end of this year, is gonna be good.
It's gonna help me date. It's gonna help me find a man.
We're gonna have some questions in there you should ask on the phone and questions you should ask on the date. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna have a formula so you can figure out if this is the person for you. Listen, you really had a job interview when you're dating somebody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. You had a job interview. You have to figure out, are they a right fit for you? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know when people say, well, let stuff come naturally. It's gonna come naturally, but it's some questions you gotta answer so I can see if you're a right fit for this job.
I think we got there when we started like mapping out. So when we dated, we took time to like map out what he wanted in a woman, what I was looking for in a man, what we thought the role should be in the household. We thought about finances, like all this stuff was discussed before we even got engaged. Like during the dating process, we talked about all those things. So I do feel like it should be talked about in the dating phase.
But
so
once you're like literally dating and
once you make it an official, I'm dating you and you're dating me, we're not dating anyone else. We're dating with intention.
But I think if you're dating someone and you just like, oh, I'm really feeling you, a man don't get attracted to that. He's attracted by the woman that's not too like too attractive to him. Yeah. He want her to be attractive, but don't be a leech. Don't be like a person that's like, oh, I'm infatuated with you. A man, he's turned off by that.
Yeah. And I think with you, like one of the things was I think he was used to women like saying, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? When are we going on a date? And I was just like, in my own little world, he was just like, oh, so you're not coming over here today? And I'm like, no, I'm trying to give you your, good. And he was like, no, I want you to come over here today. So I think it made him work a little harder than what he would normally probably had to do.
Yeah.
And
so the chase is still a true thing.
Yeah, chase is still a thing. So
now a friend of mine wrote a book called Married After 40. She said when her and her husband were getting ready to get married, they were both over 40, and there's no books. There's like she couldn't find anything because things are different because both people have their own finances. They've been living, and so she actually wrote a book about that. So y'all need a second book. So, but yeah, hers was actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, because I was going to be too on hustling, like how to hustle as a couple too.
Okay,
we're going to talk about relationship, but we also going to be talking about like how we built this $1 million empire.
The couple-newership. I was trying to say that earlier. They couple-newer.
Yeah.
Couple.
Right up on y'all's fire. And y'all don't have a think tank. What is it? A something tank. What does it say?
No, it's a think tank. It's a think tank.
Okay. I couldn't remember what it said. This is another question from somebody, one of my girlfriends said, what was your idea of a marriage and or relationship compared then to now that you're actually in this marriage?
Mine is the same. My values and what I wanted still hasn't changed. The expectation is still the same. I think having
but we evolved together though. That's the main thing.
But I was gonna say like having a true partner is the difference. So having somebody that is really like you guys are like-minded, y'all have the same goal in mind for your marriage is the key for me.
Yeah, and I think too that I don't think nothing changed. I just think that again, you want to find somebody you can evolve with, somebody you can grow with, somebody that's gonna push you, you push them. Somebody that said, man, I'm weak in this, they're gonna help you. Somebody that's gonna, say, hey, we can make this happen together. It's all about the team. I learned TE TEAM, team stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. And there's no I in team. And when you understand that, when you understand it's a we, it's not an I, then if you fall off, that's why we don't believe in you got your own bank account, I got my own bank account. We don't believe in that principle. My money is your money is my money, and that's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not, well, let me go put this money up over here. She can't see it. Yeah. Or, that's not what it is,
But we grew up, I don't know if y'all grew up hearing our older people saying that, because I've heard people say, girl, you gotta have your own little nest egg.
See, I grew up opposite. So I grew up with my grandparents, and they just celebrated their 50-year wedding
50
anniversary.
years.
And they've always had everything together. Like I remember seeing like checks that they would write for like school stuff for me, and it said they're both of their names, their last name, like they've always.
Oh yeah, like the Mr. and Mrs. stuff that they did.
Yeah. And so I didn't grow up that way. So I was like, that was a normal thing for me. It's just a matter of finding somebody you can trust and finding somebody like that's gonna have your back regardless. And we're in this until the wheels fall off.
And I think that's what really attracted me to her the most. I had a chance to go kick it with her family. Mm-hmm. And I had a chance to see how she was raised. So those things was important to me. And you wasn't like, I could tell she wasn't the type of girl that was just always trying to go to clubs, she wasn't into that. She was just chilling. Right. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, I knew what I was looking for.
Right.
When I seen it, it was a wrap.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And do you think most men know, especially over 30, already know what they're looking for?
They know exactly what they're looking for. Like, basically, after 6 months, we moved in together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then after 6 months, after we moved in together, we got married 3 years later. Mm-hmm. I proposed a year and a half later, and then we gave people a year and a half to buy their part of the to go to Jamaica with us.
We had a destination wedding.
We had a destination wedding. We brought 52 people with us.
Oh, that was really nice. Okay. So here's my favorite topic. I talk about it all the time. I've had a whole show about it, and we ain't getting nowhere. I don't think it's gonna ever be men and women being friends with the opposite sex. Do you guys have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue, but I don't have no women friends though, because to me, I don't have a woman friend that I went to school with and I communicated with like that. I mean, because when I was in the streets, I was a ladies' man. So I was in the streets. So I'm not gonna, if she want a guy friend, that's cool. But I mean, then I gotta know who he is. You gotta set boundaries, stuff like that. But it don't bother me because I trust her. So, I mean, to me, it's not really.
And since you, this problem, and I think that's different for me. I think, because I kind of say, now I'm gonna want to know why I ain't seen this friend all this time. So that's different. But I mean, like if you had a friend already, like you said you hadn't, but if you, Courtney, had a friend or he had a friend from back in the day and you guys introduced each other prior to, marriage or whatever, you knew about this friend.
I would want to know a couple questions though. Like questions like, have y'all had sex before? Mm-hmm. Questions.
That would make a difference?
It makes a big difference.
I think that makes a difference.
I would also want to know, like, how often did he come to your house? And, have he been in a relationship and you was talking to him? Did you meet the girl or was you like a secret? I mean, it's a lot of different questions.
Yeah, I never thought about
you
that.
You can ask when it comes to that. So, I mean, you have to be, listen, a guy today at the barbershop blew me away. He said, and men make their own decision. He said that the girl, he told the guy before he got the girl pregnant that he slept with her, and the guy still got the girl pregnant. So
was the guy his friend?
The guy was his friend.
Oh.
And so the guy asked him about the girl, and the girl asked him about him. But they were just having sex.
Is that okay with him, or was he offended by it?
He said he told the guy said he was cool with it, but he said that he wouldn't have got her pregnant, but the guy got her pregnant.
Well, that was his choice.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but it's weird.
It is weird. It is weird.
So weird.
And I asked that question because for me, I've had a lot of male friends, and my male friends are leaving me because their girlfriends or wives don't want to be friends with me anymore. Now, I do say that I think that when you're in a relationship, you have a friend, it's like a sister, you should introduce them to your person the third date. You know, by then I should know you. No, I don't want you coming up with some random girl saying, hey, this is my homegirl, because where's she been? So I get that. But that's just an ongoing thing for me because it's like, I don't get it. I don't get why I have to lose my friends because you get a wife.
Yeah.
So that's why I always.
People are very protective though, and I think it's a lot of people that they're very insecure with who they are, and so whenever you're insecure, then you tend to put up a lot of boundaries around the same sex. You know, like me, I'm a very secure man. I was telling her earlier. I said, "Have you ever looked in the mirror?"
He's crazy.
I said, "Have you looked in the mirror and say, dang, you look good?" You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm secure about who I am. So, I mean, it is what it is.
You like, remember the movie Martin? Was it a thin line between love and hate when he's in the mirror?
Yeah.
I think you can turn it off. Okay. Yeah, so he's crazy, but I think because I allow him the space to be himself, you know, it makes our relationship more secure because I know who he is. He knows who I am. Like, but we respect each other. Like, he can talk to people of the opposite sex. I don't have a problem with that, but we have boundaries. Like, of course, you're not talking to them at 12 o'clock at night on the phone. You know, like, really, they calling you for business? Like, that's the kind of stuff I think when people don't set boundaries, that's what causes the issues.
Definitely. Well, that's kind of just an ongoing thing. I think I'm obsessed with that topic, and one of these days my vision is to one day have like a full panel of men and women.
Yeah, we had a men and women panel.
Y'all have a lot of them. Y'all had a few.
Yeah,
because y'all were talking. Matter of fact, I think y'all were talking about what we talked about a few minutes ago on one of them. Because I like to watch your shorts that come on real quick. Look at that topic. So I asked y'all about the date night. Do you guys still do date nights?
Oh yeah.
Every Thursday. Every Thursday.
That's our date night. People say, well, why y'all don't do Friday? Well, to me, I think Thursday is a good date. A good date night because not too many people out. You start trying to go out on Fridays and Saturdays, it'd be getting crazy. So we can enjoy each other on Friday and Saturday, but on Thursday we have our date night. I think you should. Let's talk about the 111 rule, okay? This is 111 rule.
You gonna get that book together with your acronyms?
Okay. So that 111 rule is you should go on one date a week.
Okay.
You should spend 1 hour a day talking about your relationship. All right. You should go on a 7-day trip once a year. All right. That's the 111 rule.
Interesting. Now, why the 7-day trip? Why is that important?
Because you should get away from family, get away from everybody. We've been to so many exclusive places. Like we went to the Missing Hotel. We've been to the Getaway. We've been to like a lot of places that your phone don't work.
It's just
me.
It's just y'all two. No TV.
Y'all learn something new every time about each other.
Yes. Yeah. So we
set goals. We reset. We just evaluate our life, each other. Yeah.
Like
and the sex is better, guys. It's better.
Sure. It's always better when it's away.
Not nothing else to do.
That's why my ex-husband lived in a little, he didn't live his family lived in a little town called Whiteville, Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
Everybody be pregnant. And I said, oh, no, that's new. How is it working together? How do you handle that? Because you hear people say, oh, I could not work with my wife. I could not work with my husband.
I love it because this is the thing. And this is what we're going to talk about in the book too, is understanding your position when y'all running the play. Okay. So the play that y'all running together is like, email's not my thing. It's going to be her thing. Video editing ain't her thing. It's going to be my thing. So we know the play that we running. All right. She had guests come to the studio with her new podcast. And then I have a guy on the outside. He's doing the assistant editing. And so she know all she gotta do is talk. And once that's up, she don't even have to worry about the edit, the reel, no nothing. We doing all of that. So, I mean, know your position and understand that when you working together, that some things, and I'm talking to the men, you don't have to be the chief. Let her be the chief in some things. Let her run that area, you know? So it's like, you gotta know your departments that you good at, and then you can win together.
Yeah. I stay out of his lane unless he asks me like, hey, can you proof this? Can you look at this? What you think? You know, other than that, like, do your thing, but and trusting the other person to get their job done.
That's huge.
Yeah, like really trusting them, like, hey, you got that, I got this over here. And just really figuring out who's good at what. And hey, you stay over there, I'm over here.
And being okay with it.
And being okay with that. Yeah.
And I think so many people trying to like, they trying to you crashing your business by not delegating what you think you good at, but you really not good at. You know what I'm saying? So you just need to give that part up. Like editing. I'm a master at it. So I was like, just don't worry about editing. I'm gonna do the editing. You know, I just take that pressure off of her.
Yeah, and relieving pressure off of each other. Like not one person feeling like they're doing everything. Kind of carrying the load. It's just always asking, what can I help with? What can I assist with? And then another thing is like some people say, well, I can't look at that person every day. We need space from each other, you know. Things like
I had a guy ask me that. He said, how can you work with your wife every day? I mean, how do y'all spend time apart? I'm like, listen, first of all, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, we got an upstairs and downstairs home. If she want to watch her shows, I let her watch her shows. I can go watch sports downstairs. But I'm working on a project. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to be in a relationship and be distant in my relationship.
Right. You know, we like it. Like we'll sit next to each other at work. I don't know, but some people they have a problem with being with their spouse all day. Not a problem for us. And like I said, I grew up seeing that. Like my grandparents, it's very rare that you're gonna see one without the other. Really? Same with my aunt and uncle. They've been married 50 something years. And it's very rare that you're gonna see one without the other. So I think I've had all those marriages around me that
is good,
are healthy marriages, like never been separated type marriages, and they're always together. And my grandma, growing up, she's always like, where your husband? Go with your husband. Go with your husband. That was her thing, and so that's just kind of a thing.
My grandparents were married until they passed away, but
so
they had their marriage was like Archie and Edith. It was humorous. I'm actually
they gonna fuss now. You know they gonna fuss. They're gonna fuss.
But my grandmother called him a half crazy man all the time. Like, and I was like, what is that? But it was an endearing. It was endearing to them. As a matter of fact, just a plug for March, it is International Women's Month. So I'm recognizing my grandmother's passed now, but I'm going to be recognizing her because something I didn't realize, and my daughter told me, did you realize grandma was like a entrepreneur boss before time? And my grandmother was a beautician. She had a boutique in her. Like I didn't really think about it. So I'm gonna ask you one more thing before we go into the game. As I mentioned this to Courtney sometime, but I said to her, my daughter, who is 31, 32, I don't think I'm gonna get no son-in-law. But anyway, that's what she says. First of all, she said, married people don't like each other. Because y'all always talking about how much work it is. Why is it so much work? If you like each other, it shouldn't be work. It should just be play. I know that you have to fuss, but it's like she is anti-marriage because of that. Right. If someone was to come to you with that conversation, someone that age, what advice would you give them?
I think I want to break down work because I think when we say work, we make it seem like it's strenuous. We make it seem like it's something we got to do that's just so hard. But I think work can also mean just making sure that you're assessing and that you're holding the other person accountable, and that you're holding yourself accountable, and that you're constantly doing those checks along the way to make sure that you're growing, that you're evolving as a couple. And like we do it weekly. We have business meetings. We call it marriage business meetings. And we kind of like decompress from the week and kind of like just talk about what our goals are for the week upcoming. So I think It is in a sense work, but it's not necessarily something that's strenuous or hard to do. It's just making time to do it. I think when people say work, it just means effort. Like you have to put in effort. When you're single, if you don't want to talk to nobody that day, you don't have to. If you don't want to clean up that day, you don't have to. If you don't want to cook and you want to eat out, you don't have to. So I think marriage just requires a lot of compromise and just not being selfless. Yeah. Because it's not just about you, it's about the both of you.
Well, my mindset is that, and if you want to grow muscles, you're gonna have to work on the muscles.
Yeah.
If you wanna lose weight, you are 50 pounds overweight, you're gonna have to work towards losing it. So to me, the question you gotta ask yourself is, the person that you with, am I treating them like I want to be treated?
Yeah.
When you disrespect them, you disrespecting yourself. So to me, putting in the work is not really work because it comes natural. For instance, this week I came home early. I was like, I'm coming home early because guess what? I'm a cook. I'm a cook because I don't want you've been cooking for 2 days. I'm gonna cook this day. Okay. So I'm gonna take pressure. It's not work for me. It's just normal. Yeah. It's not like I'm like, you've been cooking, so I'm gonna cook for you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's to me, it's not really work.
And I think younger people look at the people that are like being disingenuous, that are like cheating and like saying like, oh, because I've heard this, oh, that's just what a man does. We've heard it in blues songs, songs growing up. What's her name? Betty Wright. Is it Betty Wright? Like all those songs, where they talk about who sings that song, Mr. Charlie? Don't blame Mr. Charlie.
That's not her. That's not Betty Wright.
Who's that? No, I don't know. I don't know who it is.
But I know the song.
Basically, she's just saying he's just the man. He's doing the best. Basically, that's what men do. But that doesn't have to be your norm. I think your norm is what you make it. And so I think when younger people think about marriage,
it's programming though.
Yeah, they think about what they see in the media, what they see on social media. People say, it's work. In marriage, you go through things. No. In marriage, you make choices. And I'm making a choice to work at my marriage in a healthy way, not in a strenuous way, not being, oh my God, I got to go home to this man. I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm rushing to get out so I can go to my man.
So it's peace. Like, it's peaceful.
It's peaceful for me. So I think it's what you make it.
That goes into putting in the work, finding the right person that is compatible.
And people gotta get out their mind the grass look greener. See, the grass look greener because maybe they spray painted it. maybe the grass look greener. Maybe it's AstroTurf. We don't know what it is. At the end of the day, it's still shit over there. So why don't you deal with what you got and make it good where you at?
And if you don't like something, again, it's about your approach. Like, I don't like your hair like that. Like,
oh, I tell you that all the time.
Yeah, in a minute, like he likes me with colored hair. I've been had dark hair like all winter. So he's like, oh yeah, when are you gonna get color? You're gonna get color this time? Like, I know what he likes.
Honesty.
He's vocal about it. It doesn't bother me, but for some people they can say, oh, your husband's rude. I don't think he's rude. He's being honest.
It's communication.
I respect the honesty.
Just bring me a new lady home, baby.
You know what I'm saying? But he's crazy. But I mean, I think it's just being open and honest. And when you find your person, and this is for your daughter, when you find your person, you'll know, and it won't be a job for you. Like, it won't feel like work, because that's your person, and that's the person you're willing to make those sacrifices and compromise with.
That's what I feel like. I still want you to do your podcast with the young people. I want you to do that.
Yeah, I am, and we're growing. Yeah.
One more last thing. Gary Owen. Gotta go back to Gary Owen, because we've said sex a few times. So let's just be real. He's saying that his marriage ended because his wife did not want to have sex as much as he did.
His favorite topic.
So his thought was, you have to continue to have sex, ladies. You've got to, because if you make excuses, if you say no, he didn't say that you'd go out and get it, but he just said it's very important that you have sex.
Before you speak, because I know you got a lot to say. We read a book. Yeah, he gonna end it, y'all. But we read a book before we got married that's called His Needs, Her Needs. If you have not read that book and you want to get married, and you're thinking about being in a committed relationship, you definitely need to read that book. That book explains it really well on the difference between a woman's needs and a man's needs. And how men are just naturally more sexual than women, but how like different things when you don't have sex can cause that rift in your marriage. So it's definitely, or in your relationship, it's definitely a good book to read. So I highly recommend. But sex for me is important because, again, I know that's a need. It's a need for me, but it's more of a need for men because they're just built and wired differently. And so I think as women, we may not need it as much as they do, but it's that compromise again. It's that I want to please you because I love you and because I'm going to hold myself accountable as a wife because that's one of my duties. Okay. And not making it be like, oh, gotta do this, like try, you know what I'm saying? Getting uncomfortable because it may be uncomfortable for you. Like some people I've heard that they schedule it because they're so busy. Maybe they have, but they schedule it. They know at this time. To me, I don't like that because it feels like a job. Then like a real like, oh man, I gotta go to work at 9, But
Gary was like, look here, can you just bend over the chair and just read a book? I'm like,
yeah. But then is that really like a turn on for him? It's like, so
I don't think it would be for a man.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and say.
I think it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about the release. It's about not having tension. Like, to me, the more intimate you be, the more closer you're going to be together. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't play with this word, work husband, work wife. I don't play with those words because those words, you're speaking something into your relationship. So I say that because I see a lot of people end up sleeping with the person at work because they spending more time with the person at work than they are their husband. So are they not husband, but the wife too. So I think it's important that you have sex as often as you can, and I know, and we even heard people talked about getting that cup, that little cup when you're in your period. Yeah, we heard stuff like that too.
People have different needs and different
desires. I ain't never heard that one. And
never heard that one.
It's a little cup for women.
It's the menstrual.
Interesting.
So I think
you still have sex?
You're able to still have sex. And there's other things out there as well, like people use for, different times, but whatever works for your marriage and what you do, I think it just depends. But if you're getting married, ladies, that's one of the requirements, not just the wedding. So
if it goes on after the wedding.
Yeah, they got to keep going on after. And I think people lose that. They lose that sometimes because, like he said, you get into a routine and you just start this life, like the wedding's over, you're not planning a wedding.
Pass each other in a hallway like you're strangers. And what do you call it? What I used to say, like your roommates.
Yeah. We're seeing the bonnets out in public, we're seeing all this,
Well, my daughter doesn't like when I say, I think you need to, I'm not saying I have to walk around the house dressed up, but I do feel that the person that I'm with, they should see me at my best 98% of the time. Not that I'm vain, but I do think a man doesn't want to see me walking around the house with my curlers all day in my
listen, to me, now I think opposite. Because we have because I hate makeup. Yeah. So I really hate makeup and I hate eyelashes. I totally hate it. So I want to see you at your worst so I can know that I'm comfortable with your worst.
I think I should think about that. I did have someone say, "Can you just dress down? Can you just throw on a t-shirt sometime?" So
I mean, I don't expect you to go
every day. Like
not every day.
No, but I don't expect you to go. We don't do the bonnet outside the house now. We can't do that.
No, he hates the bonnet. Don't let him fool you.
But in the house is cool though. But I'm talking about just going to the store in your bonnet. That's not gonna. You going by yourself today. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
That is so funny.
And you don't like pajamas either. You hate pajamas.
Sleep naked. What you got pajamas on for?
He hates pajamas. That's what I'm saying. That's what she's talking about though.
That's like,
sleep naked. Like those things that
right.
looking.
So do you like, I mean, if I'm not being too personal, do you like the lingerie kind of things? Do y'all?
No, I love that. I
He
love that.
loves it for 5 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta take it off there. You gotta sleep naked. That's
See
it.
it real quick. Long enough to take a visual picture, then we gonna move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on from there. Gotta sleep naked.
That is so funny.
And that's
Okay,
like
guys.
most men.
So can y'all kind of turn your backs to each other a little bit? Let me
Yeah.
find my questions.
And we're sitting in chairs, so we can.
Okay. I want to make sure I see y'all's face. Y'all know how the game goes. That you point at who it is. There you go. You point at who it is. Y'all know. Yeah. Okay. So who initiated the first kiss? Oh gosh. So both of y'all think that. Who apologizes first after a disagreement? Okay. Who's the funny one? Are y'all pointing at you pointing
I'm
at
the
you?
funny one. I'm the funny
No,
one.
I'm funny.
Nah.
Who is the most romantic? Okay. Who texts or calls each other the other more?
Me.
Mm.
Me.
Okay. What you be talking about?
Huh?
What you be
That's
talking
funny
about?
because we just talk about random stuff all the time. Like,
Oh.
hey, we might get into it.
I'll walk into your arms, but I'm talking to Trina.
Yeah.
That's Trina.
Because that's I'm talking to him.
Yeah, right. Who's the most patient? That would be both of y'all, right?
That's me though.
Oh, okay, really?
Well, but I'm not because
No, he's
I'm
not patient.
I'm a straight to the point. Let's go. We can't be playing around type person.
Okay. Who's the better cook?
She is.
Okay. Who said I love you first?
She did.
I don't remember.
She did. I remember.
No, you did.
I remember.
You don't remember that one. Who takes long to get dressed when y'all going somewhere?
All the time, not me.
Do you have to change more than one time?
That's her, not me. I'll be ready.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Who is the most spontaneous?
Me?
Okay. Yeah, you're a planner, Courtney. I can see
I'm
that
a
you're.
planner.
Yeah. Who's grumpier in the morning?
Her?
Really? Okay.
Quiet in the morning. I don't like to be.
You don't want to talk that early.
Yeah.
Who's more stubborn?
Me, probably.
No, I don't know.
Nah, you be stubborn too.
I'm very stubborn.
Okay, so about the same.
It's about the same.
So who spends more money?
Probably
Now,
me.
I'm talking about in the business, though.
Overall, it's gonna be her.
It's gonna be me.
Okay. Who's a bigger baby when they're sick?
Probably me.
Okay. Who is the social butterfly?
Oh, that's me all day.
Okay. And so that's good. So that means you have to be secure then, Courtney, because of that. Because that's the problem I have because I'm so social.
Yeah.
Who's the better driver?
Oh, me.
Me.
This child
You
can't
need
drive.
more wrecks than me.
Man, that don't mean nothing.
You can't drive.
I'm 8 years older than you. Give it time. Give
About
it
that
time.
one,
Give
but
it time.
it's me.
That's a I agree to disagree kind of question.
Right. We are the owners of OM2H Creative Studios. It is located at 340 North Sam Houston Parkway. We're in Suite A259. We do content creation. So if you're interested in creating any type of content, we're your go-to people. We also have a podcast studio room that's for rent. All the details are on our website, so you can go to www.onemarriage2hustlers.com/OM2H Creative Studios.
Yeah.
And find all the info on how to rent out that room, all the packages we have to offer. We have packages where you can literally just come in, sit down, record, and we do everything for you. As far as your reels, as far as your episodes edited and things like that. So definitely go check that out. I have a podcast that is called Allow Yourself Grace. And it's on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'm on Spotify and Anchor and Buzzsprout. And so you can check me out on those platforms. And on Instagram, I'm AYG_Allow Yourself Grace. And just go and follow and support. And so my brand, my website, I'm doing like a launch of my website probably sometime next month. I haven't set a hard concrete date, but I will be offering life coaching. My book is coming out, and then I'm also going to have a course available for women. So my brand is for women, and so a community for women to have a safe space to share. And so it's just motivational conversations for Black women. And so I just want to bring everybody together, and I'm going to have this chat with Trina on my podcast as well. So y'all look forward to that episode. I think I'm done rambling.
Well, listen, my thing is, right now is your time. You go to rightnowisyourtime.com. Go to Right Now Is Your Time on all social media. You'll find me. My podcast is about 3 principles: life, brand, legacy. You need to design the life you want. You need to create your brand, but most importantly, you need to leave your legacy with your own information. The question you want to ask yourself is your destiny lined up with your legacy? You know, and there's 2 different things you got to think about. To me, your destiny is something that you headed towards, but your legacy is something that you leave. You know, when you leave in your legacy is important. I tell people all the time, excuses are reasons for being useless. If you want to continue to be useless, keep giving us the same excuses, man. We all have opportunity in front of us. You need to line your vision up, line your mindset up. You need to get around the right people, and you need to make sure you're associated with people that can help you get to where you're trying to go, man. Because if you're not growing, you're not going to your destiny, man. So again, Right Now Is Your Time. Check me out, man. We're about motivating and inspiring people, man, and helping people get off their ass and take action.
Yes, and his website is www.whynowsyourtime.com. You can find him on Instagram at whynowsyourtime.
Everywhere.
And I'm at
TikTok. I'm ready. I'm doing 1,000 TikTok.
All over the place. I just pop on. I'm like, here you go again. Then that go Courtney.
Right.
With y'all little pillows.
Yes. We did not mention our podcast, One Marriage, Two Hustlers. Y'all go follow us. We got some momentum over there. We got
and you can get 10 episodes a month for $10 a month.
Yeah.
So $1 episode, and we talk about so many different topics. So
we have some exclusive content back there, some
over 130 videos
with other people as well in the back office. But yeah, go subscribe on YouTube. That's free, y'all. Go subscribe on YouTube. Go watch some of our videos. We've had some couplepreneurs on this month for Black History, doing big things in Houston. So yeah, go check us out. We got a lot going on, so hopefully y'all rewind and listen because we serial entrepreneurs over here. But yeah,
because if you got one income, you're too close to zero. So be locked in. Be locked in on multiple streams of income. So run the play, man. It's time. This is your year, 2023. My motto is 2023 is for me. I'm locking into my dreams, my goals. I'm not letting nobody stop me. I don't want to have conversations with people who thinking negative. I'm going to do the things I need to do to get where I'm trying to go, man. And it's time for you to do it. If nobody telling you right now, you can do it. I'm telling you, I'm job free. I don't punch no clock, and I'm making money. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Yes, and I just want to leave y'all with this because I'm being led to say this for some reason. Just believe, like that's the first step. Believing that you can have whatever it is that you want, whether you want to have your own business, whether you want to have a healthy marriage, whether you want to travel, whatever it is that you want to do, the first step to getting it is just believing it and seeing yourself already there.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part for a lot of people.
Yes.
Is seeing yourself there. And I'm going to ask you a question, and you don't have to answer tonight, but on one of your podcasts, and you may have already talked about it. When you say what you just said, Lloyd, about you can do it, you can get it. And I think I've said this to Courtney. Yeah, you can, but money. When someone says that, I mean, that's a huge thing.
Well, this is the thing. Start where you at. That question. Start where you at, all right? So many people say, oh, I need to get this $3,000 camera. You got a phone, all right? So many people say, oh, man, they come to the studio. The guy came last night. He was like, wow, how much is all this equipment? $13,000. Oh, my God. But we didn't start at 13,000 for the equipment. We started at 500. You know, my thing is you're going to have to make a sacrifice. All right. Well, there's no sacrifice. There's no progress. So many people are afraid to make a sacrifice. You buying shoes, you buying clothes, you eating out every week. You got money. You know what I'm saying? The acronym for money means monetarily owned, not externally yours. Money is just a tool. When you get locked in on your dreams, you'll stop having a poor mindset. Poor stands for passing over opportunity repeatedly. People at opportunity pass them by every single day. You must live in faith, all right? Faith stands for anything I trust him, which is God, all right? If you trust God, your plan and God's plan is different. God laughs at you when you come with your plan because he really, what you think you want, he wants something bigger than what you think. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get locked in. Life stands for live in faith every single day. When you understand you living in faith, you lined up, nobody can stop you from doing it. Start where you at, all right? And make sacrifices.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. And just knowing and believing and stop waiting for a sign from God. Stop surrender. That word surrender, it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm laying everything down and I'm just waiting on God. It means that you're gonna have to do something. Like there should be a move inside of you. Once you surrender to him, then you know that he's giving you the power to do everything you need to do. And it's all inside of you. You control it all. You control how much money you have. You control how you spend your money. You control where you go, who you go with, and the people you're around. And I think when you surround yourself with people who are, maybe they grew up with money, that money's nothing for them, where it's a norm for them. Like surround yourself around people who are growing and people that are where you're trying to be, so you can get like-minded, because it's hard to grow when you're in the same environment.
But you only grow where you sow.
Yeah.
So wherever you sowing is where the harvest comes up.
But sowing to me is time too. So wherever you're spending your time.
But I'm saying, but some people sowing into negative situations. So if you sowing into a negative situation, you're gonna reap back that situation. So wherever you put that seed in, wherever you sow, that's where you're gonna grow. I think people tend to say, well, I'm gonna sow this. No. Sowing your time in a negative person, that's gonna come back to you. Yeah, sowing your time in a negative place, that's gonna come back to you. Wherever you sowing is where you're growing. Yeah. And a lot of times we gotta protect our energy from people who not going where we at. I'm gonna release a video on Monday. It's called "Don't Be Stupid" by following people that's taking you to a place where you don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me about entrepreneurship if you ain't job free. Please, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about it. If you're not job free, you can't tell me. And people say, well, everybody got good advice. That's false evidence. You know what I'm saying? No, that's false. And everybody don't have good advice. So how can you give me evidence? How can you give me something that you don't have?
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay, thank you. Lord, y'all got me wanting to go out and go on ahead and buy my camera.
Yes, use your phone. You can use your phone.
Let me say this before I end. So I got this great opportunity to go to Dallas with Chat with Trina. And I was going to take my camera because that's what I use. And it works fine for now. But someone said to me, oh, that's going to look so unprofessional. You got to go at least get you an iPad or whatever. So, of course, I told my daughter, she says, Mama, if you don't take your phone and do your thing, because it's all about you. And y'all, it went well. It went really great. So when you say that, because you do think, oh, I don't want to do that unless I have this nice, shiny stuff. But sometimes starting where you're at is starting. So
the key is starting. Yeah.
Just get it done. And I mean, if you're, even for me, my energetic personality, I could have whatever I want to. It's just being me for that. So, but I'm gonna have me a shiny camera one day. Y'all watch them. But anyway, I want to thank y'all. Y'all were such a joy. Thank you so much. Y'all were so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chatwithtrina. And when you there, I need you to do something. I need you to hit the subscribe, y'all. Hit the little bell so you know when I upload a new video.
And make sure you comment. You better watch this video. Make sure you comment. All these gems we drop, we usually charge for them. And we gave them away for free.
Wait a minute. Did y'all talk about what's coming up? I just know it's $97. Is that over?
Oh, it's gonna be too late by the time next year.
It's about
You can always stop by the studio. You can go book a session. We got the information you need to help you get you where you're trying to go.
Yeah. So y'all
And
check
he
us
did
out.
not say one thing. He did not say they also help with branding, which I think is something I hear all the time from people. So I think they're a great business to talk to them about getting your branding done. So y'all, thank y'all again. Y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all so much. See you later. Bye.
Thank you, Lloyd and Courtney. I really appreciate you guys taking a moment to come and chat with Trina. And I had such a good time. I hope you guys did too. Guys, don't forget to check out OM2H, One Marriage, Two Hustlers. And make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Hit that subscribe button and then click the little bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video.